everyone, this is Jane with Barlow Herbal, and we got Dr. Brandon Nielsen in the house. We are going to talk about colon health. How about that?
We are?
Woohoo!
The end game.
Okay, so this is something that I think it kind of ebbs and flows as far as people talking about it. Like, remember Oprah made it pretty cool to talk about poop?
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
maybe because you're so much younger than me, right? But I think what happens is we are aware that we should be doing certain things every day, like having regular bowel movements, but it's just not the most pleasant thing to talk about, or it's not. It should be something we talk about on a regular basis.
Kind of stinks.
Especially if we're having trouble, right?
It does. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially if you're having trouble. What's funny is females are much more apt, much more likely to talk about it than men. I don't know why men get so scared. It's like it's funny. Over the years now, I've been doing this for however many years, since what, graduated in 2003, so almost 20 years now.
That's so cool.
And women will always tell you, yeah, this is how my poop is, whatever. Men never share those
It's
things.
because we have
super
babies.
bad. Yeah, seriously.
And it's like everything goes. Once you have a baby, everything goes.
Right.
You can talk about everything.
So I've done lectures on poop before, and I don't think because colon health, basically colon health, you can look at your poop and you can actually say, okay, this is the health of my colon. You can look it up. I'm not going to go through all the different things. Basically, you want this. You want to evacuate your colon on a daily basis if you can. It doesn't mean that you have to go 3 times a day. It doesn't mean you have to go 4 times a day. Generally, if you can evacuate your colon once a day, and some people, that's what they'll do. Now, if you look at a baby and then they start becoming a toddler or even a child that's very healthy, you can look. So I'm going to tell you, in Chinese medicine, you'll oftentimes look at the tongue to look at the health of a individual. And so you look at children's tongues and they're generally very healthy. This is where I'm going with this. Generally, kids will generally go poop once a day, but the difference about a child is they will evacuate their bowels. They'll sit on a toilet and they'll get it all out. All right, all of it. So whether you're getting it all out once or you're getting it all out 3 times during the day, or 4 times or 5 times, for me, that's just not as efficient. I would say you want to make sure you're evacuating your bowels. All right. You can look in the toilet and you can look and see, and I'm not going to go through all the different things, but you basically want poop that is well formed, that is generally more of the brownish in color, not like gray or green. You generally want it to be more kind of on the brown side. Well formed, not really skinny, and not clumpy, kind of like deer, because that would be more dry. So you just want well formed poop that comes out nicely. All right.
And the reason is you look at well formed is it's almost in the shape of your colon.
It's in the shape of your colon. That's exactly right.
So that's right? When you say well formed, that's what you mean. So if it's,
and it shouldn't float. It should actually, if it does float, if it floats for just a second and then goes down, that's great, but it should not just stay floating. If it does, that's generally undigested fat. So we got to look at the liver and especially the gallbladder.
I did not know that.
Oh,
I didn't know that about floating.
Yeah, so floating is generally undigested, because think about oils, they sit on top of water, right? Also, if you notice, okay, so maybe we do need to talk about this more. Also, if you notice kind of an oil slick on top, that means like you're not breaking down fats, right? Yes, so there's some other things.
Wow.
If it's gray, all right, so yeah, I guess we're going to talk about this. If it's
there's things I didn't know.
Okay, so if it's gray, this is not good in color. If it's black, or like you have like little coffee grounds in there, this is a very concerning to me, because that could tell me that you have an ulcer, a bleeding ulcer up top. By the time it reaches the colon, then it's getting, the blood is actually turned to almost like a black color. Or if it's really black and tarry, this is also concerned, like not meconium like a little baby when it first comes out, but if your poop is kind of black and kind of a tarriness to it, that can also mean blood higher up in the GI. By the time it gets out, it's not looking like blood anymore. It's looking more like a blackish color. So that's concerning, that you need to make sure you tell your physician right away. The other thing is you want to be aware of is, if it's bleeding, obviously bleeding will generally be more like an anal fissure or a hemorrhoid. It could be an internal hemorrhoid. So bleeding is a bright red blood is always at the end. So that's going to be right at the sigmoid colon, right as it exits out. Your poop exits out. And so you want to watch for that. So sometimes if you don't have an external hemorrhoid, what it can be is actually an internal vein or internal hemorrhoid that you're getting the bleeding from. So those are some of the things with the color. If it's green, you're tending more towards bile. So if your little baby's poop is green, it's not a concern. Generally, I'm talking like a breastfed baby. Generally, it'd be more kind of on that yellow, brighter yellow side. If it gets to the green, it's just more of a bile release, and that's generally not a concern. If you have the green monster poop, that's generally a dump off of bile, and that could be that you just stimulated the acupuncture points for the gallbladder, and you just had a surge of bile and you released it. Generally not a concern unless you continually have that. So that's some of the things with color. Also, it can be kind of a yellowish. Also, that'd be generally bile. Sometimes you'll get poop that's black because kids will eat food coloring, like a pack of Skittles, and then it'll come out as a darker color, and it's because of all the food coloring.
Well, it's like when your poop turns red after you eat beets.
Red or a pinkish after you eat beets. It's not generally blood. It's going to be the beets.
Right.
So yeah, so well formed, if it's kind of like a pencil-like, that's not good. If it's too thin, that's not good. However, since we're going there and talking about thinning.
I didn't expect it to go there, but hey.
I know. She's like, well, so I know, because I constantly have to know all these things about poop because it tells me so much about your colon health, right? So honestly, don't send me pictures. I don't need pictures. I have plenty of patients. I don't need you as a patient. I am booked out, so I don't need you as a patient. But there is I cannot remember the name of the scale. There's an actual scale that talks about your poop and it explains it. Okay, I don't remember the exact name.
Maybe I can find it and link it.
That'd be a good idea.
I'll just find it and link it below.
I think Mercola had it on his website once.
Okay.
But there's like 7 different poop sizes and colors, and it talks all about it. All right, and it's a great chart.
Yeah, I'll find that.
So with that being said, one of the things is the most common cause. Well, people come into me generally and they'll say I'm constipated is the most, especially for women. Constipated, I'll oftentimes also look to thyroid, but that's a side note that we're not going to talk about right now. Constipation. The best, absolute easiest thing to do for constipation is to create a cycle, and you'll do that through magnesium citrate. The other magnesiums work pretty well. You're not going to use like a magnesium glycinate. It's used, I like to use it more for muscles. Magnesium citrate, very inexpensive, works the absolute best. The biggest common fear that I hear from people is, am I going to overdose?
On magnesium?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Most people, I've looked at so many blood labs now, I don't know how many, but most people are deficient in magnesium. So generally on your magnesium blood lab, and most medical doctors won't run this, you can ask them to run that element, but it will usually be, so it'll be calcium, phosphorus, and then magnesium, which is all your bone health. So yeah, you guys, it'll usually say calcium, then phosphorus, and then it will say magnesium. And magnesium I like to see above 2, and most people aren't above 2. Right around 2.2 is what I like to see people at. Most people will be below 2.2. With that being said, you know you're getting enough magnesium because your bowels will start to get loose. And so you cannot overdose on magnesium, you guys. Your body will poop it out, and that's what I want to do. Is I'll usually have people start out about 200 milligrams of magnesium in the evening. They take it right before bed, and then I'll have them dose up from there. So then we'll go to like 300. Usually they come in like a capsule is about 100 milligrams. So I'll usually have them go like to 100 milligrams, 400, 500, whatever it is. How you know if you're taking too much is your bowels will start to get loose or even runny. From there, you need to back up. So what you do is you take, back up. Jane, this girl, throwing all the puns in it.
Well, you started it.
I know, with the end games.
Yeah.
So you'll back up. So let's say you're taking 4 capsules. So you're taking 400 milligrams and your stool starts to get loose. So the next morning, let's say it gets too loose. So the next night what you're going to do is you're going to take 300 milligrams keep taking 300 milligrams until you get loose. You can take this for months at a time, and I've had people do this. Or let's say you're taking 800 milligrams, it's okay, and you're still not getting loose. You can find out and keep bumping up until you finally get the dump off, all right? But you're not just going to all of a sudden take 1,000 milligrams right at once. No, you start at 200 milligrams, up dose from there, and then you're going to down dose as your body starts to create a cycle. So what you want your body to do is to actually keep working its way down, and it can be months, like 6 months or even a year, and you're not going to damage yourself, and you're not, because magnesium is essential in the sense that your body has to get it from ingestibles. It has to get it from its food. Most of us don't get enough minerals anyways.
Right.
So you up dose and then you down dose until your body is getting enough from your food, but most of you aren't. So a lot of times people are going to need to stay on magnesium for years at a time.
Do you up dose every day, or do you up dose every week?
I usually up dose in about every 3 to 5 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to really get things moving. So
yeah.
To
I
really get things moving. So yeah, up dose about every 3 days, and then just keep going up till you get to bowel tolerance, and then from there you'll start to back off. Be careful if you are taking any other minerals or salts, because that can interfere with your body just flushing. There is something, I know you had mentioned it. I have had people do this in the past where they'll try to flush really quickly and they'll do salt, but I'm not going to tell you all about that because I don't want you to get confused. But if you are adding other minerals in there, just know that you need to keep those minerals steady. Don't change or alternate those. Keep those steady. So if you're taking like a trace mineral, let's say 1 tablet a day or 40 drops a day, keep that consistent, and then you use your magnesium to fluctuate, because those other minerals will actually cause you to be loose as well. So just keep that constant. The other thing that can cause you to go loose would be vitamin C. So if you take 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day, keep that constant and consistent and fluctuate and up with your magnesium. Okay?
That is a really good tip, because honestly, that's not something I've heard a lot about.
Yes. So these are some good tips. These are real life, like my 20 years of experience. The other thing is, you guys, I think of the colon. You want me to keep going?
Yes,
okay.
Please, yeah.
The other thing is, I think of the colon almost like a garbage can. All right. So when you transition from your small intestine to your large intestine, which is your colon, so you have your colon, so you have a little garbage disposal. It's called your appendix. All right. So right where it transitions from small intestine to large intestine, it's called the ileocecal valve. Right hanging off the bottom there is an appendix. It's like your little garbage disposal. All right. So it's lymph tissue. It helps clean up all the junk. So you go ascending colon on the right side, up by the liver. Then you have what's called the hepatic flexure. So hepatic meaning liver. Then it turns over and it goes sideways. It's called the transverse colon. It goes down again, and then it takes a crick and it goes back to the outdoor. So that'd be like sigmoid colon. Okay. So you have 2 valves. You have your ileocecal valve on the right. You have your valve of Houston on the left, right where it creases and then goes out to the back door. Now, with that being said, if you do not have good bowel movements and you evacuate your bowels, you're going to get stuff stuck on your garbage can, all right? And it's like this. I compare it to a garbage can, because a lot of times when your garbage can gets junk on it, sometimes people will go and spray it off, and then you look in your garbage can. I'm talking like a kitchen garbage, not,
Yeah.
And you look and there's still like a piece of carrot, piece of spinach over here, some black stuff that you don't know what that is, like a little piece of egg. You know what I'm talking about, and it gets stuck on the garbage can, and you spray it, rinse it off really quickly, and you think, oh, it's good, but it's not. That's kind of what magnesium citrate does. You got to get it moving, and it helps get the flow going. That's why you'll go diarrhea, because you actually hold on to more water. All right, so your colon, you actually use a lot of water from your colon. You'll absorb a ton of water from your colon. So think about it like that. The garbage can, it's not all the way clean. So what you have to do, if you especially have had any type of constipation at some point and you haven't ever cleansed, is you do need to do some type of a colon cleanse. Okay? Now, I wanted to actually show people this, if it's all right. You mind?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
She wasn't going to show you guys this, but I kind of insisted. And the reason why is because I was telling her my analogy of the garbage can. With the garbage can, you've got to go in there and you've actually got to add soap and scrub kind of a detergent and kind of let it sit. And it might be like several scrubbings, and then sometimes you actually have to get a brush and clean that garbage can or use some type of a pressure washer to really scrub it out. That's what colon cleanses do. It's not like magnesium. So this right here, her number one ingredient, look, listen to her number, is this brand new?
Yeah, it's not even, it's barely.
Oh, is that all right if I show them?
Of course,
Oh.
yeah.
Cascara Sagrada, all right? Number one, slippery elm. Think of it slippery. It just like gets that junk and it just kind of helps it slip right off the sides of your colon. Then she has senna, Cape aloe, the best aloe, Cape aloe. Then she goes to a milk thistle, will actually not only help colon, but it'll actually help liver. She goes to an apple pectin, which actually helps bind. Then we go into the turkey rhubarb, fennel, licorice, all great binders, then cayenne to increase circulation. She finishes off with chickweed. This, oh my gracious, here, I'm trying to.
I wasn't going to show because mostly wanted to talk about, no, I'm good. I'm glad you did.
Oh, okay.
Because you just barely, we didn't talk about this.
No, sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Smooth cleanser, guys.
No,
Smooth
like
cleanser.
this took me a couple years to formulate and it just barely arrived. But here's the thing. I want people to pay attention to their colon health.
Yes.
And I think the magnesium thing is perfect. But your analogy of cleaning the garbage can after you've sprayed it with water.
You can use it.
But that's the whole thing. It's like, it's not, I personally have done different cleanses with products over the years. And that's why I brought these together and the amounts are in. Because sometimes what we need to do is we need to dial back a lot of lifestyle habits.
Oh, yeah.
And go like, because whenever I do a colon cleanse, I make sure I hydrate. I do juice cleaner smoothies, right? And it will really go, okay, if I found myself eating a little bit too much sugar, if I found myself maybe eating a little bit too much of bread or whatever it might be, this always gives me a chance to reset. And I will tell you what happens. And the whole goal of this is not to use this as a crutch.
No.
You use this as a cleanse
to supplement
once or twice a year.
I agree.
And you basically do this so that you can go in and give your colon a really good cleanse. And it actually helps to nourish it, strengthen it, and support so that your colon can actually do its job.
Yeah, so once you use this,
right,
then it's like cleaning out the garbage can.
Right.
Now, for some people who have been more toxic, I'd recommend doing more. If you are and have been toxic, you can do some colonic or some hydrotherapy.
Yes.
You can do some enemas. Enemas, you can do a high enema. I don't know if you know what that is, but you actually tip until you're basically trying to get that all the way to your small intestine. It's difficult. A colonic actually works better.
Yeah, I've done colonics in the past, and I will tell you,
those are phenomenal.
They are. It's been a while because I haven't felt like I need them.
Yeah.
But the times I have done colonics, which has probably been 15 years now, I feel so good. Like, and even, going through this. Now, this isn't actually enough for 2 cleanses.
Nice.
So it's 2 weeks, but it's enough for either 2 people or 2 cleanses. So if you do this 2-week cleanse, set the bottle aside and maybe do it again in 6 months, or have someone that you share it with.
I agree with that. And that's generally for a healthy person.
Yes. This is not for someone who hasn't had a bowel movement in a week. You know?
Oh yeah, don't do this. Yeah,
right.
I wouldn't do this. Yeah, I'm glad you're saying that because it's true. You need to get your bowels moving first. So I would do the magnesium therapy first.
Yes.
Then I would do something like this. Remember, you spray it, you rinse that garbage can first. You don't go in and just with a dry brush and start scrubbing.
No.
Right? And that's a good analogy because you don't go and just use this. You want to get things moving, flowing and going, as they say. You got to get it flowing and going. Once you get things flowing and going, now you have good flow. Right. And once you have that good flow, now we can start to scrape away and get all those little edges and add the little, and get all the junk off. And now you have that clean, pristine colon.
And the cool thing is once you get your body ready by doing all the things that, the whole magnesium thing.
And juice fast though. You talk about juice fast. or like a hydrotherapy, or even like a water fast. Those type of things are excellent.
Right, just start preparing. I mean, even like make sure you're on some good probiotics, exercise,
Oh,
movement, like getting like literally movement.
movement. Just get movement.
Yeah.
Like, remember those chi machines? Those were really good for colons. I don't know if they ever had them in the US. I think they did, but you'd put your feet on this vibrating plate and go back and forth, but it kind of like it'd move your bowels.
Oh, yeah.
pretty
Well,
cool.
and there's actually some yoga poses, especially
Uh-huh.
at the end when you're stretching and you pull one knee in at a time, where
Oh.
you pull your knee and you put it right up next to your shoulder. And you hold, it's a stretch at the end.
I'm not familiar with that.
Well,
I can't
partly
do that.
what they talked about is that stretching actually helps to just the way that your body and your bowels and your colon and how it,
I like that.
it's just a lot of really cool things.
I'll tell them one other tip with that. So 2 things, but you can actually, so starting on your right side, I'm just going to kind of stand up for this. I'll stand back, okay? So one thing you can do, so I'm on, it's going to be reversed, but this is my right side. This is where your colon starts. You bring it up, you bring it across, and this is what I'll have little, moms do with their babies, and then down. So it's like a horseshoe, and you start on the right side, and you can actually go a little bit deeper, and you can even feel the tender spots, and I'll kind of move those across, and then you go down. And you can actually massage that, and that will actually help get the movement as going. So what you're doing is you're using an external peristalsis. I had a lady, her bowels were blocked, and her husband called me up and he said, hey, do you have anything for my wife? They sent her home to die. Dead serious. Okay, this is a patient. She was 80, I can't remember, 80 something. Anyways, she said they sent her home. They've given her anywhere from 3 days to 3 weeks to live. And I said, are is she still supposed to live? And he's kind of like, because I asked people that. I know that's kind of, my doctor asked me if I was still supposed to live. So she is still supposed to live. So I told him what to do. And honestly, like, God help me on this, but I had this thought, okay, in order to create an external peristalsis, so what I just showed you, you can do that, and you can do it more than 3 times. I just say, like, you can do it three times a day. Okay, so that'd be a total of 9. You can do it more than that. Just don't, and you can actually take more time and kind of work it out, kind of massage it, but you're always pushing from right horseshoe to the left. Okay. The other thing that I heard from God, he told me, is cold constricts, warm expands. So what I did is I had her right on that spot of the colon where it was constricted. I had her put an ice pack for 20 minutes, a heat pack for 20 minutes, and I told her to do it 7 times. Anyways, by morning, she's like, they said she just had, we're talking about bowel movements, but like 14 days of bowel movement. And oh yeah, she just like filled the toilet. Anyway, she was still alive. She lived another 8 months, and then she naturally passed. But it was their time. But they were so grateful. The family was so grateful because she lived another 8 months that they got to spend with her, and she's completely fine.
She was probably out of a lot of pain that would cause,
too. Talk about the pain,
yeah.
The distension. They couldn't do anything. She was in so much pain. She had had cancer for 30 years and had beat it for 30 years, so they thought, well, it's just a cancer. And I was like, come on, you guys, why are we giving up? We sent her home to die, but I'm just telling you, that is external peristalsis, and we created the movement that actually helped get things moving.
Well, and that's a sign where you said distension. Like, that's a sign. Like, think about, you see sometimes people, bloating. They'll have like a distended belly with little skinny legs. It's like, that's not a weight problem. That is an inability to evacuate your bowels problem.
That's exactly right. And one of the number one things with that, when you do see distension, or especially if you're gassy, that's generally yeast.
Yeah.
Or remember, yeast and what's an antibiotic? Antibiotic is a fungus, right? So fungal yeast always combat with bacteria. So you said a probiotic. I like a really good probiotic, and there's many probiotics. Or even better than that, eating fermented foods.
I was going to just say fermented foods.
I know.
I was like, it was almost out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I'm like, is he going to say it?
But check this out. Colon. Your colon. So in probiotics, your colony forming units. So if you ever look and it says 100 billion CFUs, 100 billion colony forming units. So your colon has a colony of bacteria, and that's where that comes from, is colon forming units. So CFUs, you'll see that on your probiotic. Just look and it will say CFU, 50 billion CFUs, 20 billion CFUs. Okay, that's what that is. And it stems off from your colon. Your colon has a whole host of bacteria in there, and so the probiotics can work also. But like I said, I love the fermented food.
Yeah, me too. To me,
And
that's
so-
I actually do that probably 5 days out of 7.
Wow.
I'll do
That's awesome.
even just a couple of forkfuls of the fermented foods that I have, and I usually
What do you like?
So I do my own. I do cauliflower, I do cabbage, I do carrots, and I do onions, and I make my own fermented food.
I like kimchi.
Yeah, and I don't like the spicy.
I know.
So that's the only difference, is the kimchi has all the spices. So
Yeah.
I would say make your own. Learn how to make your own fermented veggies, guys. We're going into the time of year where all the veggies that are out of the farmer's market going to be coming out of your gardens.
If you do need more, I do probiotics. I mean, I use
Oh, yeah.
probiotic therapy.
Yeah. So
but, I use.
you can get it on your website, right?
Yes.
So I will put a link below this video.
That's right. I just
if you
thought about
want,
that.
and
Yeah, I'll make it
well,
available.
and I,
Let me
of
know.
course, because I've had yours before, I need to come get some more.
I forgot about that.
And because I eat so many fermented veggies, I don't
Don't
really
use them. Use fermented veggies. Don't use a probiotic. I'd rather
Well-
say use fermented veggies. Everyone can do them. You can make them yourself.
Yeah.
But sometimes I will use that, especially for getting things flowing and going.
Yeah, so my whole goal of this video, if you got to the end of this, which we're almost at 27 minutes, which I'm really grateful for all the information that you dropped.
How long were we going to go for? 5?
Yeah, we're going to go 5. Let's just do a quick 5-minute video about the colon, about our colon health.
Wow.
I know. So here's the thing. We talked a lot about backing up and movement and all of that. But here's the thing. To me, your colon and the health of your colon is one of the most important things when it comes to your health, because you can release a lot of toxicity into your bloodstream.
And your liver will get backed up.
That's what I mean. And your liver is such an important organ. You guys already know that. And I think that, I wasn't really sure I wanted to talk about this, but this is a beautiful product. I'll drop some extra information below this.
She's still trying to hide it. I exposed it. I'm sorry. It's out. Now they know.
It's called Smooth Cleanse.
Smooth Cleanse.
Yeah, and there's a picture of a little colon on the front.
Oh, sure enough. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right there, you see that little spot? That's the appendix.
Yeah.
So, I love
That's
it.
why you need your appendix, guys.
Oh,
like when they say this is an organ you don't need, and I know some people, one of my sons had his appendix burst and almost burst. Sometimes it comes out, but there's a beautiful list of ingredients. There's no fillers, there's no preservatives, there's no chemicals.
That was really nice.
It's a really, really beautiful cleanse, and this just arrived. We're middle of June of 2022. If you're watching this later down the road, then this might have been out for a while. But
And you guys, honestly, Jane, I know she's okay with me saying this, but if it's not this one, use something else. It's okay.
Agreed.
Yeah, like
Agreed.
we just want you to be healthy. It doesn't matter.
Agreed.
Use something else. I was just excited because it was such a great product.
Yeah.
Use something else. It doesn't matter, but get that garbage can cleaned out.
I 100% agree. So thanks for stopping by to talk about the colon today.
Oh yeah, there's so much information.
Yeah, there is. And we went almost 30 minutes, which is beautiful. So thank you, my brother, for coming over. And thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you got some really great information out of this that you can move forward and not be backed up.
All right, thanks for
Okay.
telling him that.
All right, well, there you go. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.